Marcie, Rhein, asked me to give my thoughts on MoThMaN when going through Point Pleasant. I had never heard of MoThMaN until 2018 when I was trying to do this trip, and my friend Sam and I landed at Point Pleasant because they got a nice dock. So they got a MoThMaN statue. I'll put it up in a picture. It's good luck to rub his shiny hiney, is what the three men who were sitting here when I landed said. So between November of 1967 and December of 1968, there were sightings in this area of this 7-foot man with a wingspan of like 5 feet, something like that. I might be getting the details totally wrong. And red glowing eyes. I think the first was from a couple that was trying to, neck in the woods by an old, they call it the TNT area, an old World War II munitions plant. And they said they saw this man like I just described, and chased after them, flew after them in their car when they fled in distress. And then there were several subsequent sightings after that in the newspaper. And then a bridge collapsed. I think it was called the Silvergate Bridge. And that was kind of like the last that they saw of MoThMaN. So there was a book published, I think, in the late 90s or early 2000s called The MoThMaN Prophecies. And it says that, there are people having premonitions of this bridge collapsing. I think 47 people died. And MoThMaN might have had something to do with it. And there's also speculation, is it an alien, some mutant, or is it a new species? But that doesn't seem to be the case, because there's something called, I think, the square law, something like that, that a creature that's 7 feet tall and has a 5-foot wingspan wouldn't be able to actually fly. So, based on the description with the red glowing eyes, they think it could have been a gigantic owl. Apparently there was some big owl that was sighted around, and then it died, and they found its body, and it was like abnormally huge with the 5-foot wingspan. So they thought maybe people might have been seeing that in the dark and kind of freaking out. Other people think it was an abnormally large sand crane, which can be the size of a man. Apparently is not normally in these parts, but could have been out of migration, and that would explain why he only saw it for a few months. And it's got reflecting eyes, I believe, if you shine it, because somebody said they shined a flashlight on it, and it looked like bicycle reflectors looking back. I'll tell you, just the last few nights on the water, the fish jumped up. I think it was a fish, and I scared the hell out of me. I said, Jesus, what the hell was that? Because it just happened to be real close. And I've seen these gar in the water that look like Loch Ness monsters. When things get a little dark and you're in the woods, things can be bigger and scarier than maybe they are if you see them during the day. So I can imagine if I saw some sand crane that's 6 feet tall, a bird that's 6 feet tall, that puts its wings out, I'd probably have the same effect on me as the lettuce from Taco Bell is having on people right now. So, and then once you get these stories started, other people seem to almost get programmed to see it more, I would be more inclined to believe that it was something real if there was a body ever found. We're talking, what, 70 years ago, 60 years ago? I guess 59 years ago. So unless these MoThMaN is immortal, You would think you would have found his body someplace. You know, I'm sure he didn't bury himself if he died. But what I like about it too is this Point Pleasant seems it forms a center point. There's the statue, like I said, and then there's the world's only Mothman museum is right next door, and that is of course a world's only Mothman museum gift shop, and there's Mothman themed window split displays and such as that. So that's good. I mean, I guess just to answer your question because of my thoughts on these things, Marcie, it's not that I'm a skeptic. It's just that I can only believe in stuff if I can explain it some way with science. And I'm a big fan of Occam's razor that, you know, the simplest solution or answer to a thing is usually the answer. And to me, I think if it was a bird, and there are these types of birds that exist, and somebody was to see it, and I can empathetically imagine what my reaction would be, and then the newspapers picked up on it, and then some construction workers said that they had tied some flashlights to a balloon and sent that up in the air. You know, people tend to, everybody loves to get in on a tall tale, whether they're making a hoax or a lot of people are susceptible to that sort of thing. And once you see something, you have confirmation bias that it exists. So I'm thinking it was a bird. I'm thinking it was a big ass bird that some lovers saw, freaked out, and then other people picked up on it, and then and then there was that big tragedy with the bridge, and then some author, subsequently wrote a book about it. And that's the best way to sell a book, I think, is, you write some paranormal stuff and people love to eat that up. Anyway, those are my thoughts. If you have thoughts, go ahead and put them in the comments so we can start a conversation. Maybe you have some information about the Mothman that I don't have after seeing the statue, reading the Wikipedia article, and looking through the window of the museum. So go ahead and, correct anything. Also, don't forget to, like and subscribe. And if you want me to share my thoughts on any other subject, especially someplace that I'm passing on the Ohio or the Mississippi, please let me know. Just put it in the comments. And thanks, and see you next time.